When should seniors sell their home? If you're watching this video, then you might be a senior considering selling your home, or you could be the child or grandchild of a senior and you want to help them make a decision on how to best handle the sale of one of their largest assets. So we've helped quite a few people in the last few years, and specifically quite a few this year, go through this transition in life, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we get started, I'm Stephanie Nause with the Homelicity Realty Group at Keller Williams, and I'm passionate about helping our clients build and develop wealth through real estate. If you're interested in tips on buying a home, selling a home, or investing in Toronto real estate, then I hope you'll consider subscribing to our channel. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. And let's talk about the topic. I just want to say, first of all, I really love working with seniors. I love sitting down with them and hearing about their goals and the stories and great memories that they have had in their family home. I actually sold our family home growing up. It can be a very emotional experience, and most people don't sell homes every day. And when we're talking about seniors, sometimes they've been in these homes for decades and there's a lot of sentimental attachment to it. And then if you add in a couple well-meaning kids or family members trying to give advice, it can be pretty overwhelming for anybody, let alone one of your grandparents or if you're a senior. There can be some advantages to selling your home in your senior years, such as using your investment to fund your care as you go on. And also sometimes my clients will say, I just want to help get things organized. I don't want to be a burden to my kids, and I want to get this process rolling and all set out so that it's not stressful for them after my passing. And I know that this can sound very morbid, but these are the conversations that I'm having with our senior clients. They're thinking about this and they want to make sure that they make good decisions for their future so that they're comfortable, and also to make things easier on their family members. So oftentimes selling the home prior to passing allows them to skip the probate process, because that can take up to 6 to 12 months, depending on how well organized the will is and how complicated the probate is and just how backed up the courts are. So, there's some advantages. First, I just would like to make a disclaimer as well. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant. So you do want to check in with those professionals just to weigh in and get some advice. But today we can talk about the thing that I am qualified to talk about, which is how to have a successful selling process once you've made the decision and once the time comes. I would say the first thing that you want to do is really take a look at your timeline and what's going to be reasonable for you to move. Does it make sense for you to move? What are the costs that you have in your home? Oftentimes my senior clients spent their entire working life paying down the mortgage. Oftentimes they don't have a mortgage, but they do still have a lot of expenses like property tax, utilities, maintenance, and then minor or major repairs that need to happen on the house rolling forward. And there's often comes a point in time where it just doesn't make sense. They're not using a lot of the house. The daily tasks and maintenance like landscaping, snow removal, grass cutting, taking out the garbage cans, and just general maintenance on the property, even all the stairs, can become a little bit less manageable, and they start to feel like, it's a little bit of a burden on them, and they don't want to be constantly asking their family members. So that's usually when this transitions, as people want to move into a condo or a retirement facility, and we start having some conversations about what that could potentially look like. So once you've come up with a timeline, if you've decided, this does make sense, especially in a market right now where we're in, I don't know if you've been following the news, but if you have, then you probably know that at this point in time, our real estate market is retracting a little bit, with the Bank of Canada increasing interest rates that will likely continue a little bit more softening. So if this is something that you're planning on doing in the next 3, 6, 12 months, it might make sense to kind of look at the timelines now and have a conversation about whether or not it makes sense to move that timeline forward a little bit, or maybe not. So only you can decide that. And if you have any questions and would like some help running through the numbers, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. You can just comment down below or reach out. All my contact information will be in the comment section down below. Once you've made the decision that you actually want to list the home for sale, the next thing that you're going to have to do is prepare the home. And everyone has to do this. Nobody lives the way they sell. And if you consider that oftentimes when someone's been living in their home for multiple decades, there's going to be some decluttering that has to happen. And often when I go into senior homes, they're very nice, they're very well kept, but sometimes the style can be a couple decades behind. So it does make sense to take a look and see what the trends are in the neighborhood, if most of the homes that are selling have been fixed up and updated, or if homes in similar condition are moving really well, then you can consider selling it as is. But there's going to be some basic things that you're going to have to do to get the property ready. And the first one is going to be to declutter most of your stuff. This takes most of my clients, even the ones living in small condos, a week to 2 weeks to just pack everything up, donate the things that they don't want. The longer you've been in the property, the more memories you have, the more stuff you have that's been collecting in your basement, or if you're like me, all those odds and ends that I don't know what to do, they tend to make their way out to my garage. So you want to clear out all of that and just make sure that people can see the valuable real estate that's available in your home and that we're showcasing it. And oftentimes we'll do something like a pre-home inspection to go through and see if there's any minor or major repairs that need to be fixed up, or just for us to get ahead of any red flags that a potential buyer might be put off by. And oftentimes we can do some quick little fix-ups ahead of putting the property in the market so that we don't have people being nervous about that. And once you do the full declutter, a little bit of staging can go a long way. So sometimes removing some furnishings and bringing in other ones that are a little bit more modern and will appeal to the demographic of the area. So if you have your second bedroom or spare bedroom set up as an office or like a second TV room, and we know that families are looking, then we would probably showcase that as a nursery or a family room. And that's the conversation that you want to have with your agent, just to kind of figure out who the demographic is and who you're targeting. That will impact how you prepare and prep the home for sale. And look, not every home needs a full renovation, but oftentimes for some of our homes that are a little bit older, the bare minimum is usually cleaning, decluttering, a fresh coat of paint. We actually just sold for one of my very sweet clients. We sold his condo and he actually moved into a rental property that his sister is renting in. And with him, he had beautiful furniture, but a lot of it was very large pieces. And we ended up using some of it and bringing in some staging and just lightening the walls and bringing in some softer pieces just to kind of make the space a little bit more neutral. It was very heavy and masculine. And with the help of his 7 kids, we were able to get the property cleared out, prepped, staged, photographed, and he was able to go and stay with his kids while we were selling the property so that it wasn't inconvenient and he wasn't put out with the showings. So you want to have some conversations about what the whole selling process will look like as well. And then we had one of my business partner, Nicole, one of her very good family friends. We sold their property and they transitioned from their townhouse with lots and lots of stairs into a condo. And it was a cute place. It just needed a little bit of sprucing up. And instead of spending a ton of money, we knew that oftentimes it was young families and that were looking at the property in this area and they would want to move in and be able to live in the property for a couple of years until they build up some equity and save up again so they can do some renos. So we had the place freshly painted. We had some peel and stick flooring put down in the kitchen. You can paint out the kitchen cabinets very inexpensively and paint through the entire property, fix up any nicks and cracks. And there was actually a young family that bought the property. There's a whole crew that we can bring in to help out with this. Intensive or relaxed as you need it to be. And we were able to get a really good price for them. Oftentimes people are like, wow, this is such a huge glow up. I wish it was like this the entire time we were living here. And then they have a new appreciation for how beautiful and how much they love their family home. Once you've kind of started prepping, and any good agent is going to tell you that you have to do those things, that you have to declutter, that you have to clean, that you have to paint. If you have some tired out carpeting and stuff, you might want to look at the cost to rip that out and put in either some new carpeting or some laminate flooring, or like we did in my client's kitchen, some peel and stick flooring. But you want to find a really good agent that you enjoy working with, you like their style, you feel that they understand what your goals are and how to make this a seamless and stress-free process, well, as stress-free as selling your home can be. And they should be able to do a market analysis for you. So they should be able to take a look and give you an idea of what the value of the home is. If they advise that you would to do some fix-ups, so that you would see if you were to fix up X, Y, and Z, the home would sell for this much more. So you can kind of take a look at what your return on investment would be based on your timelines, how much energy, time, and effort you have to put into preparing and prepping the home for sale. And then they should be able to go over the strategy with you based on what's happening in the market. Do you need to fix it up? Are you going to sell for a lot less? If you are selling it in as is condition. And then, like I said, any good agent is going to recommend that you have to do some basic staging and prepping. That brings us to the end of this video. If you have a home that you're considering selling, or you have a senior parent or grandparent that would like a consultation to give them a room-by-room analysis, let them know what the value of their property is, and kind of explain what the whole process of selling would look like so they have some time to mentally digest that and make some plans, feel free to reach out. All of our contact information will be in the description box below. And if you made it until the end, thanks for watching until the end. And don't forget to follow us at Homeplicity Realty on Instagram and Facebook for a lot of content that we don't post here on YouTube. I hope you'll consider subscribing. Go ahead and give us a like, and I'll see you next week. Bye.